Get back, get back. Hi, you guys. Hey. Get back, get back, get back. Hey. I'll start talking in a minute. Hi, Kelly. Hey, Steven. Hey, Celosexual. Celosexual, I know your username, but I'm trying to remember what your AV looks like. I can't remember, though. Oh, the Mbaku Eats. Right. Hey, Born to Be, The Real, Sarah's Colon. Okay. I have not been live on Instagram in like 3 years, maybe 2. Oh my gosh. I used to go live on Instagram often. I used to do it with this one girl named DJ back in the day. We would go live with the split screen thing. It used to be so much fun. Okay, but anyway, I came here. Listen, here's the deal. Straight up, direct. This is what the deal is. Human design is it. I'm not here to tell you to get into it. I'm here to tell you what my results are with it. Straight up, okay? Venus wants to play. I think she's going to be bothering me. But anyway, that's what I'm here to tell you. You ain't got to fight nobody. What you talking about? What you talking about? Nah, we not fighting nobody today. Today we're in knowledge mode. Today it's time to put y'all on game. Straight up and direct. And I've been trying to put everybody on game for a couple of months now. But ain't nobody been listening. So anyway, check this out. Listen, you guys, where to even begin? Number one, with human design, the way my life is on track. You feel me? The way my life is on track. The way I spend way less time worrying or thinking about certain things because I found out that I didn't have to, and I spend more time thinking about things that are more beneficial to me, things that are actually productive to my life. Because when you look at your human design chart, you'll actually be able to see different things in your chart that show what you should and should not be focused on, right? Right. And it's different from astrology in that if I were to look at your astrology chart, I don't think I'd be able to look at a chart off top and immediately say, you shouldn't be worried about that. You shouldn't be worried about your Mars placement. You know, that doesn't make any sense, right? But with human design, it's a lot more specific in some regards where it can immediately say, don't worry about this. Don't do that. Just straight up. And I fucking love it. Okay, it said pause to poor connection. I don't know why, I don't know how. But anyway, somebody said, what is human design? Google it after I'm done with this live. Human design is basically the study of energetic patterns, the relation between the energetic pattern between you and the universe. It's how you and the universe best communicate. Hey, it's Monty. Yes, it's Monty. Hey. So, that being said, Venus, please stop. Sometimes she'll just come up and lick my leg like, it's wet. Okay, get back some. Okay. Get back some, Venus. I have a little cough, so I don't like for her to be near me when I have like a cough or something. Venus, please. Oh my gosh. She be knowing when I'm on the phone. Like she knows when my attention is somewhere else. And Venus, please. Please. You know what? Let me just, where can I hide from her? Shit. Look at her. She wants to play. She's so silly. Okay. So anyway, let's get back. No, you ain't missed nothing. I was just talking about Roka. You ain't missed nothing. I was just telling people how human design is that girl. that girl, okay? So anyway, check this out. So let me tell y'all something. So like, for example, as a generator, and if you don't know what that is, you'll find out soon enough. Make sure you Google this shit when the live is done. So for example, as a generator, right? A generator, we've got two things. The thing that we want is satisfaction. And the thing that we don't want is frustration. A generator's biggest enemy in life is frustration. Guess who rarely experiences frustration anymore? It's literally me. It's me. The way I have absolutely slashed the amount of frustration that I experience in life in fucking half. Now, frustration, don't get it twisted. That doesn't mean you can't be angry or sad or any other negative emotions. Frustration is different from that. That is something I have totally cut in half. Yes, that does apply to manifesting generator. For manifesting generator, you have to worry about anger and frustration. For generator, it's just frustration. So not only have I cut my frustration in half, but what I've been able to do is implement the energetics of my human design chart, meaning my strategy and my type, which is being a generator. But the type is generator. My strategy is to respond. And then my authority, make sure you Google, when you Google human design, if you don't know what this is, you'll learn all of it when you do a simple Google. And my authority is emotional. Okay, it said the connection cut out again. But anyway, by implementing all of these things, by implementing the energetics of my human design into my personal life, into my work, I've been seeing consistent flow, consistent increase. Hey, my baby Venus and Soil, Jalea, I've been seeing things like I've never seen them before. I'm going to talk about this in like a podcast or something. It won't really be like a podcast. I'm just going to do an audio and put it on Patreon later on, one of these days, about everything that happened in December and how like I got through that. But just to give you a quick thing regarding that, it's because of human design that I was able to get through all of that drama. If you're a generator and you understand how bad frustration is for us, it's because of human design that I was able to get through that whole thing with absolutely zero frustration. Because of that, the way I've been able to pivot and flip shit, that's why people were like, don't leave Twitter. No, don't let them bully you off Twitter, Jay. No, you can't let them win. It's like, ain't nobody won shit. I'm following design and I know what's working for me. And that's why it was so easy for me to pivot and be like, I'm leaving, because I'm deep into design. So I understand the symbols, the signs, the cues of what's right for me and what's incorrect for me. It goes so deep. And so as far as marketing, you can use human design for marketing. I've been helping some friends with implementing their human design into their marketing. One of my friends, this was like a week ago, sold out of one of their products they were selling because I told them to do it according to their design. I explained how, blah, 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 right? And then I have another friend. I told her to do something according to her design, and I gave her a couple of other tips. She had $6,000. Let me repeat it. $6,000 worth of inquiries on her product. That was today. So that means all the inquiries she had, if everyone bought one, that's $6,000. But, when you get inquiries, not everyone is going to turn into a sale. So, it won't be the full $6,000, but that's how much worth in inquiries. And then as me and her go forward, and as she learns more about implementing design, and as she grows more accustomed to that $6,000 will turn into $60,000. Let me say it again. That $6,000 will turn into $60,000. Somebody said, will design tell you what you should pursue? Design will give you your strengths, and then you will go by your strategy and your authority to make the final decision on what it is you want to do. And it'll be so easy. It's so easy to make decisions. Oh, that's another thing with human design. Let me tell y'all, as a Libra, I'm indecisive as fuck. So fucking indecisive. It's hard for me to make decisions sometimes because I'm in my mind weighing shit. I don't know. But with human design, like, I'm so serious, you guys. Once you understand design, you will never have a problem making a decision ever again. Because did you know, I didn't know this before I learned design. Did you fucking know that we're not supposed to make decisions from our minds? Can you fucking believe that? Decisions are not supposed to come from our minds. Our minds are only meant to be mental processing centers. Our minds are only meant to process information. And then the decision comes from our body. Most people call it a gut feeling. But did you know that by understanding your human design chart, and you don't have to understand the full chart. It's not, you don't have to even go into all the specifics to, okay, it said reconnecting again. Let me just get out of this spot, because obviously it just keeps reconnecting and shit. Okay. You don't have to even go into all of the specifics to get the benefits of what I'm telling you right now. You only need to understand, just to start, your strategy, your type, your strategy, and your authority. It's real simple, right? So anyway, I love you too from Jamaica. Hey, Jamaica. So I don't have problems making decisions anymore. I'm a Libra. The only thing I get indecisive about nowadays is food. And sometimes I just be like, why not both? Because Libras love to pick both. But this is what I'm telling y'all. I don't have problems making decisions anymore. For any of y'all just joining, I'm talking about human design, and I'm talking about how amazing it is with marketing and increasing your sales and your brand, your page. I'm talking about how human design has allowed me to get rid of frustration in my life almost completely. That doesn't mean I don't have emotions like anger or sadness or anything else, but frustration is gone. And I was also talking about how human design allows me to make decisions without complication. When am I offering this as a service? You know what? Let me rebound from this Twitter stuff. Once I rebound from this completely and I'm in a better space in general, because even though design definitely has my life on the fast track, I still experience emotions. That doesn't mean I stop being human. So I'm still in that space of, sadness, and I'm still sad about what happened. I'm still processing and getting through all that. So once I'm past the phase, then I'll definitely be ready to start offering it as a service. And you know what? I do want to offer it as a service. I'm being so direct with y'all. I want to offer it as a service. And when I do, I'm going to tell you straight up right now, it's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost some money, because it's worth it. This information is worth it. I know y'all heard me when I said my homegirl has 6K worth of inquiries. And that number is only going to increase as she gets into her design more. If I wanted to, and this is not to be braggy or whatever, I'm just being straight up with y'all. I'm being direct. I need y'all to get the message through me being direct, okay? If I wanted to use design right now and do some shit on Instagram, oh God, I could flip a 20K bag, anything. It'd be so easy. But I'm still increasing my knowledge. I'm still getting results from other people. I'm still enjoying the process of learning. That's what I'm still enjoying, the process of learning and seeing results with people. So, but what I'm trying to tell y'all is you need to start getting into design. You don't have to worry about all the extra specifics. You know how when you get into astrology, you understand the signs first, then the planets, and then you get into houses, and then you get into aspects. You just kind of go like that. and design is similar. But with astrology, if you stop at planets and signs, you miss out on a lot. And with design, you could say the same thing, but if you don't get shit else, just knowing your type, strategy, and authority is going to change your life. Yes, Imani said this could save small businesses. Hell yes. Hell yes, it will save a small business. And see, this is the type of shit a big business do not need to know, because they'll only get bigger. You feel me? Do you need a birth time? Yes. Yes, you want to have your birth time. And you want to get it from the birth certificate or from a birth announcement, from a written or sure source. Always try to get the written source from your birth time before you go with mommy's word, okay? Always. Someone said, what are we supposed to do with the frustration? When a generator is frustrated, or a manifesting generator, it means you're doing something that your body does not want to do. You're going in a direction your body does not want to go in. And that leads me back to what I was saying earlier about how decisions should not come from our mind. If you're thinking about going to college, or taking a really serious job offer, getting married, or even if you're thinking about what do you want to do today, that shit should not come from your mind. That's just where you process the information. What are the facts? What do you think about it? You know, the process. And the final decision comes from in here. You feel me? So for example, I'm a generator. So I can think about all the facts and stuff. And then what determines the decision is my excitement. For generators in particular, and manifesting generator, your excitement is what's going to be, you know how you got a ship, like a captain on the ship and the boats and shit. And you know how you got the motherfucker at the end of the ship with the little telescope thing, like land ahoy. That's your body. That's what excitement is for a generator. The motherfucker at the end of the ship with the little telescope thing. What is that called? It's a fucking binoculars, whatever the fuck. You feel me? And the higher the excitement, the higher the yes response. My girlfriend, she is a splenic projector. I know most of y'all don't know what this is, but you will eventually. It's okay. My girlfriend is a splenic projector. So her final decisions come from her spleen, right? The spleen is, it makes in the moment decisions. And the spleen does not speak twice. It only speaks once. The spleen will give you that immediate feeling of yes or no. For my girlfriend, she's a splenic projector. So she goes by that immediate yes or no, and she has to listen to it carefully because it doesn't come again, it doesn't speak twice. And then I go by excitement. Let me give you an example. So my girlfriend, she's splenic projector. So y'all know, actually, let me get some water real quick. I'm thirsty. Where is my water? Okay. Projectors get invited. If you don't know what any of this means, you will know in time. Just keep going. Just come with me, okay? My girlfriend, splenic projector. Projectors have to get invited into things to reach success. That doesn't mean you have to be invited to go to the grocery store, to go shopping at the grocery store. I'm talking about for the things that matter, you know? So she got invited to go to Dallas to perform at a show. And of course, that sounds very exciting, right? Projector getting invited leads to their success. When the invite is the correct invite from the correct kind of person, it will lead to success. And her authority in the human design, your authority, which comes from your body, makes the final decision. So hers comes from her spleen. And remember I said the spleen is in the moment. It'll give you that answer right there in the moment and it will not speak again. So she got invited to go to the show and her spleen was immediately like, no, nope, it's a no-go. Huh? What? How does that even make any sense? How does that even make any sense? Like, this is great, right? She's getting invited to a show in Dallas. Why would her spleen be saying no? See, in human design, when you have a defined spleen, it's that in the moment awareness that keeps you safe, right? Guess what happened? So eventually she was like, you know what? I'm not going to go. So she didn't go to the show. Guess what the fuck happened? The show got canceled. It turns out whoever rented the venue, they didn't rent it correctly, or they didn't finish paying. Everybody who was there had to get the fuck out. There was drama. It was all types of shit. She had no way of knowing that. Had I not taught her about design and where her final decision-making process should come from, she would have gone. Because the mind says, go. You got invited to a show in Dallas. That's amazing, right? Now, her spleen still would have been speaking, but she would have went against it because she would have overthought, and the mind would have thought, oh, let's just go. And one thing I've learned about overthinking is not always, it's not always like a bunch of thoughts. Overthinking can even be one sentence in your mind more than necessary. Even just one sentence that you go through in your head that's more than necessary. That's overthinking. I used to think overthinking was only it can just be the smallest thing over, and that's overthinking. How do you figure this out? You can Google human design chart. There are so many websites with a human design chart that you can put your chart on, and all you got to do is just find one that you think is pretty. MyBodyGraph.com has a very simple, easy looking one. And then when you put it in on MyBodyGraph.com, then it'll say MyBodyGraph, GRAPH. Then at the bottom, you click on Information Hub, and it'll tell you if you're a generator or a reflector or whatever. It'll give you your profile line, blah, 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 blah. Whew. Yeah, y'all had to hear that. Whew, your girl. Virgos be neck popping, okay? I'm a Virgo, Venus, and Mercury. Genetic matrix, I think, is that the one that's like Russian and they have really nice interpretations? Somebody said something earlier. I'm trying to find that. Somebody said, should I Google this info or is there a specific website? Listen, never ever stick to one website when learning something. That's where people get fucked up at all the time. People be like, and this is no offense to you, I'm just talking. I hate when people be like, they be asking me like, what one thing should I get to learn this? And I'm like, what? This is what you got to do. When you're learning something, you look at all the websites, all the books. You read all the resources that you can. When I was learning astrology, I would like, if I wanted to Google moon in the 8th house, I'm reading all the links about it until I get tired or until I feel like I've learned it. And then I might go on Twitter and search. And then I might go on Facebook. And then I might, you know what I'm saying? You never stop at just one source ever. You never choose just one source ever. No problem. One thing I'm also learning as a generator is that we're supposed to be more polarizing. Y'all know I'm Libra rising in Mars. So normally when I'm speaking or typing, I try to be nice, and I try not to offend people. Like, I'm always trying to be nice and not offend and, be very neutral. Libras are always trying to be neutral. We try not to polarize too much. But what I've learned as a generator is that a little polarization is good, especially when we're really feeling it. Like just now when I was saying about the sources thing, in the past, I would have just said, yeah, use multiple sources. But I felt like saying, I hate it when people think like that. I hate it. And that's no offense to the person that asked it. That's not me being directing anything towards them. I'm just expressing. But I know sometimes people get confused, or they might be like, are you talking to me crazy? And I'm not. But anyway, what I learned was I should just be a little polarizing because that's how I naturally am. And I just have to embrace that. See, human design is all about, let me tell y'all some shit. I'm going to tell y'all this and then I'm done. Okay? I'm going to tell y'all this and then I'm done. Listen closely to this. This is going to be some shit right here. And then I'll show you the books that I have. But I learned the most information about HD from learning the basics and then experiencing it for myself, watching other people's experiences. That's how I learn the best. So yes, I have a couple of books, but they didn't teach me everything I know. Yes, I do be on YouTube and I do be on Google, but it didn't teach me everything I know. It's from other people's experiences, either watching them, hearing them, or having my own. That's how I learn the most. Okay, so 2 things. First thing I'm going to tell you is about this authenticity thing, and then I'll show you the books. Okay. So, what sign rules over authenticity? I'll wait. I'll see who gets it right. Nope, not Leo. Nope, not Aqua. Nope, not Virgo. Nope, not Aqua. Nope, not Capricorn. Nope, not Aquarius. Why is everybody? I see why everyone keeps saying Aqua. Now, Aqua is a part of the group that can represent authenticity, but it's not the sign that represents authenticity. Dallas got it. It's Scorpio. Yes, Dallas. It's Scorpio. Scorpio rules over authenticity. Now, I hate that I have to say this fucking shit because we should all have brains, but I will say it anyway. Just because Scorpio rules over authenticity does not mean that every other sign is not authentic. It does not mean that you are not authentic. But the sign of Scorpio rules over authenticity. It rules over that rawness, that realness, that it is what it is, and that's what it's gonna be, and it's not gonna change because that's what it is. Right? What sign, now here's the next question. What sign rules over magnets, magneticism, attraction, that pull, the polarization, that magnet? What sign rules over that? Somebody said Gemini. I laugh. Gemini is a very lighthearted sign. Scorpio, correct. It was a trick question. The answer is also Scorpio. Now, once again, I say, this does not mean that if you don't have a Scorpio placement, you can't embody these things. Just stick with me here. I'm about to get into something, okay? Y'all have to remember that every single thing on this planet, every concept, every physical item, everything, you know how we have love, that's a concept, right? And then we have physical stuff. Everything on this earth is ruled by a sign and can be described by the archetypes of that sign. You see what I'm saying? So, moving forward. If Scorpio, now I've talked about this before. I've never seen anyone else talk about it. I'm original as fuck. See, this is why, real quick, I can't believe people had the audacity to say, I don't know what I'm talking about, or I make shit up. Bitch, I just observe shit, and I'm just able to relay that information of what I observe. So y'all gotta listen to this. But anyway, I've talked about this before, and I didn't really have like a name for it, but I just called it everything equals everything. If something is represented by a sign, then everything else represented by that sign, like it'll be the same energetically, right? Like, you know how Leo rules over love and fun, and it also rules over children. Those are the same thing energetically. When two people are in love, they tend to act like children. When we have, okay, I disconnected for a second. And then when we have and see children, it automatically equals love. You automatically love your child. Children need fun. Who needs fun more than anybody? children, both ruled by Leo. You see what I'm saying? Everything equals everything, right? Taurus rules over food. It also rules over money. Where are you finding free food at? Food costs money always, all the time. See what I'm saying? Even just to make it. You see what I'm saying? What's another example? Virgo, it represents health and it represents service. When you're sick, you need service. Everything equals everything. See what I'm saying? All right. So back to the Scorpio. Okay. For those of you just joining, you definitely need to rewatch this, or at least rewatch the last 20 minutes to make sure you get this. Okay. Somebody said, what about Sagittarius and traveling? Sagittarius rules over traveling. It also rules over experience. You gain experience the more you travel. You gain more knowledge and understanding. You expand. Sagittarius rules over expansion. You expand and gain knowledge when you travel. Everything equals everything. Everything under that sign is related to each other. Okay? All right. So, Nadia, where you been? You should have been here. You'd have loved this shit. Make sure you rewatch it. Okay. Back to Scorpio. So, if Scorpio in the eighth house and Pluto, but we're not focused on all those specifics. I'm getting to a point about human design. If Scorpio equals authenticity, and if it also equals the magnetism, attraction, what does that tell us? The more authentic you are, the more magnetic you become, the more you attract. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to give y'all two good examples of two Plutonians who embody this very well. Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is racist. He said terrible things. He's done terrible things. But the reality is that that's really him. He's a Scorpio stellium. And like I said, you don't have to be a Scorpio for this to work. Everybody has every sign in their chart. I'm just using an example. But that's really who he is. That's his authentic self. We don't like it, but that's his authentic self. And what does it do for him? It attracts. There are literally videos of this man telling black people to put battery acid on their skin to get lighter. And he was harassing a black woman on the street. I remember that video. Terrible things. But that's him. That's his authentic self. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not telling you it's right. I'm just saying that is his authentic self. That's who he is. And it attracts people. It makes people want to give him money. It brings people in. He has done nothing but get consistently richer every year. Each makeup drop, selling out. Big ass house. That nigga has, I don't know how many super exclusive handbags. Some I think were given to him. It makes people want to fuck with him. You can go to his Instagram comments right now. It's nothing but love. Another example, Ari Fletcher. Ari gets tons of hate. She's very forceful. You know, she's very, like bitch, you know what I'm saying? Like on her online. She's very much her authentic self. Sometimes she tweets stuff and it's just like I don't know. Sometimes she'll say stuff about like her and Bag fucking or something. It'll be like, what? But that's her authentic self. And it brings in money. You know what happened the other week with the domestic violence thing? And she was like, she was just saying like, nobody cares about y'all putting your stories under my comments about my experience. And the internet was like, how dare you? How dare you? I promise you, she only got richer. Promise she only got richer. Because that's her authentic self. And it doesn't matter whether her authentic self is morally right or wrong. It doesn't matter whether we, the audience, loved it or hated it. It attracted. And I'm telling you, it brought in the bucks. That's what I'm telling you. Right? And then real quick side note, Scorpio energy, 8th house energy, right, is naturally square to Aquarius. Naturally in conflict, a square to Aquarius in the 11th house. Aquarius in the 11th house rule over detachment, rule over not caring. The only way to counteract that magnetic attraction from authenticity is to ignore it. You have to ignore it. If a celebrity or a media figure or whoever the fuck is doing some shit you don't like, and it's really like, you have to ignore it. You can't comment, you can't like it, you can't share it, you can't DM it to your friends half the time. You have to ignore the fuck out of it. There's this one media person named like Akbar V. Nothing against her personally, but like all of a sudden I started seeing her on my timeline and she was saying all types of weird ass shit. And I was just like, ew, so turned off. So I don't interact with anything having to do with her. You see what I'm saying? I'm mentioning her now for a point, but so I don't interact with it. You can't interact with it. That's how you have to supersede that. Otherwise, that attraction, it doesn't matter if you love it or if you hate it. You're attracting for them, okay? So anyway, so like I said, this is about get back, Venus, get back. This is about universal laws. I'm trying to tell you guys about a universal law. When I say Scorpio in the 8th house, I'm not speaking to people who have those placements. We all have the 8th house. We all have Scorpio in our chart. So I'm not speaking to people who only have those placements. I'm telling you about universal laws. Just like how Taurus rules food, Aries rules the head, Virgo rules glasses. Just universal law. It's just universal rulership, right? About what things mean. That's what I'm trying to tell you, right? Right. So if Scorpio energy and 8th house energy represent authenticity, and it represents the magnet, and if being your most authentic self, no matter how great or how terrible it is, brings attraction, that's what human design will do for you. By embodying human design, by embodying your design. Human design is not everyone's design. It's your specific design. And your specific design is your most authentic self. Your natal chart is your most authentic self. But the natal chart is extremely subjective. One astrologer can say one thing and one astrologer can say another. I have a friend with a 10th house sun and a 9th house Mercury. Y'all know 9th house is college. Mercury is our communication, the way we think, what we're interested in. So 10th house sun is success. 9th house Mercury is going to be really interested in professional studies, like college and such, classes. So this person will be very successful at their professional studies. And my friend had another astrologer tell them, I'm surprised that you made it through college. Like, I'm surprised you finished college. What? Huh? That don't make no sense. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on, let me get some more water. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like, my opinion as an astrologer would be like, a 10th house sun, one of the best placements for success. I have it, Jeff Bezos has it, Bronx has it, and a 9th house Mercury, which is what they're interested in, professional study. They're going to be successful at that. Like, I was like, where did they get that from? But my point is that, see, astrology is subjective. While one astrologer was saying I'm surprised and I'm saying I'm not, that's subjection. But with human design, there is very little room for subjectivity. Very little room, which is good. It takes out a lot of guesswork. Now, that don't mean you put your astrology on the back burner. You use both in conjunction. It's really good. But anyway, there's very little room for subjectivity. Human design shows you how to understand your most authentic self in plain English. Me as a generator, before human design, I was totally unaware of these patterns in my life, of this pattern of committing to things I wasn't truly excited about because I thought I had to. Remember what we said? Decisions shouldn't come from the mind. That's just for processing. Committing to things because I thought I had to. Putting my energy in places I wasn't truly excited about. But now I'm aware of how my most authentic self is reliant on my excitement. I just wasn't aware that I was operating in this way. Now, there are plenty of people out here who have realized the pattern of design without knowing that there's a whole study dedicated to it. There are people who get older, maybe when they're in their 50s and 60s. There's a lot of people who don't understand or realize any of this and notice the pattern until they're way older. And they're like, you know what? I'm only going to do what makes me super excited. But imagine knowing this now. Imagine doing this now. So remember what I was saying. Scorpio in the 8th house, right? This is astrological. What did I say? It's called a universal law. Rules over authenticity. We all have it. Human design shows you how to be your authentic self. It also, Scorpio in them also rules over the magnet, the attraction. So by being your most authentic self, you attract, you pull, you polarize. That's why my friend was able to bring in 6K worth of inquiries. That's why my other friend was able to sell out all of her products. Both of them did it in one day. That's why my Twitter pages was one of the best, was one of the most popular, because Generator operates off excitement, right? And there's plenty of people who like astrology and are excited by it. But my excitement for astrology is, I'm not saying it's greater than anyone else's, but I will say that I was fully committed to my excitement in astrology. So my page got to blow and be big because it's my excitement. It's that authenticity from my excitement. It's the fact that I was putting my all into my excitement, right? And generators are supposed to put their all into their excitement. That's a part of the authenticity of a generator, is putting their all into their excitement, right? And that's what was pulling motherfuckers to my page. Like, bro, I was reading for SZA and Kalani, which we're all still cool, by the way. Oh my gosh, people tried to spread a rumor that they weren't cool with me or something. Like, y'all don't even fucking know any of us. But anyway, why me? You know what I'm saying? Why me? Besides the astrology, like, I got a 10th house sun in Leo, but besides that, why me? You know what I'm saying? But my excitement, putting my all, my dad wanted me to get a job so bad a couple of years ago. He was like, but you need to get a job. Da-da-da. Nah, nigga, I'm into this astrology. This is where my excitement is. And that was pulling shit in for me. Right? Right. I think it was one more thing I wanted to say. Somebody said, you the one. Oh, God. And my 10th house sun is in domicile. Domicile means when a planet is in its own sign. So it's really strong. Yes. Thank you. Correct. Yeah, I know the books, but there was something else I wanted to say about about the attraction. I can't remember, but I will say, so as a generator, remember at the very beginning I said a generator has two things. We've got frustration and we've got excitement. I mean satisfaction. A generator is always trying to get towards satisfaction. The more a generator puts all of their energy into what makes them excited, and I'm not just talking about, oh, that sounds good. I'm talking about, hell yeah, that excitement. The more you put your energy into that and nothing else, only the things that make you excited, like only the things that make your body want to get up off the couch and do shit. That's how you get towards satisfaction. That's how you get towards satisfaction. I remember what I was going to say real quick. I wanted to tell this. I've told this story before about like how I just kind of I was already into astrology, but I've told the story before about like what prompted me to become an astrologer. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell it to you from a generator perspective, right? So get back, Venus. She just wants to come and lick. Whew. I can't take the licking and stuff when I'm trying to talk, because then I can't focus. Okay. So get back. Okay. A generator is not supposed to lay down. Just lay down. Lay down right there. A generator is not supposed to, please, dog, please. A generator is not supposed to participate in anything that does not make them excited and give their body energy, right? Now, obviously, not everything is going to make you excited, right? If your neighbor asks you, can you help me rake the leaves tomorrow, right? That's not necessarily exciting. But if your body is feeling the yes, like, yes, I'll help you. Yes, that you feel the energy, then okay. Now, of course, you have to use your authority to make the final decision. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Generators have to go with that bodily yes. Not what the mind says is yes, but the bodily yes, right? And nothing else. And see, here's the trap. Here's the trap that generators can fall into, and manifesting generator. Here's the trap we can fall into. The trap we can fall into is thinking that while we wait for something to come up for us to respond to, I did kind of skip this. For those of you who don't know, you'll learn this eventually. Just keep up with me. Generators have to respond. We're not supposed to initiate. Like I didn't do this. I didn't do this live because my mind said do a live. We're not supposed to initiate from the mind. Something from outside of the mind has to prompt us to doing things. That's how we stay on the proper energetic pattern. And when you stay the course on your energetic pattern, depending on what your type is, that's how you make things flow. And when I say flow, I mean the path of least resistance. Spiritual motherfuckers talk about flow all the time, and that's no diss. I'm just saying. People in our community talk about flow all the time. Go with the flow. What is the flow? In human design, it's the path of least resistance. Hey, Jenny. Right? So anyway, long story short, 2018, right? I was really, really frustrated with my job at Dillard's. Super frustrated. I wanted to quit so bad. And keep in mind, this is before I knew about design. And I'm going to show you how, in retrospect, I was operating in design and didn't know it. And let me tell you something else real quick. Scorpio 8th house again. It also rules over crisis. If Scorpio in the 8th house rule over, if that's universal law, universal energy for ruling over crisis, and it also rules over authenticity, then that shows us that when people are in crisis, that's when they become their most authentic selves. That's why Scorpio motherfuckers don't trust a motherfucker until they see how they are under pressure, when the going gets tough, when it really counts, because that's when your true self comes out. So oftentimes, like as you learn human design, you can reflect back on the times you were in crisis, and you'll probably see how you were operating in design and didn't even know it. That was your authentic self coming out. Because it was a time of crisis. That's the only thing that can come out when you're that low. All right, so let me continue the story. So I'm at my job at Dillard's. I fucking hate it. Generator has to respond before initiating. We need something in the outside environment to prompt us to act or say or do. That's response, right? So boom, I get into it with my then boyfriend at the time. We get into it real bad. I called the police on him, and that motherfucker was out of jail in an hour. And then he FaceTimed me, and he was smoking. He was like, why you do that? His voice was real deep. He was like, why you do that? And I was so fucking scared. I was like, oh my fucking God. How did he get out of jail? Like, how the fuck he get out of jail in an hour? What the fuck? So I packed up all my shit. Now that's what I responded to. That was something that did not come from my mind, something that already exists outside of my head that prompted me to go ahead and quit my job. I quit my job and I drove 2 hours back home and I said, Mom, I'm coming to stay with you. Okay. I was nervous. I thought he was going to come back. So I went home. And so finally I left my job. You know, my job was dreadful as fuck. It wasn't a bad job, but I was so tired of getting up every day because my energy is different. Like I just couldn't do it, you know? I had more to give, more to offer, right? Right. So anyway, so I go home and I was in crisis. Then this is where the crisis started because now I didn't have him and I missed him. Of course, at the time I still loved him. I missed him. I wasn't at my apartment. Sure, I could go back, but then I would have to look for a job. I didn't want to get another 9 to 5. And just keep in mind when I'm saying this is not to discourage anyone who has one because those jobs are all needed. All jobs are needed. I'm just telling you my story. I didn't want to go back home to my apartment because I didn't want to get a 9 to 5. I was in crisis. I was in a bad place. I had lost a couple of friends earlier that year, so I didn't really have my closest friends to talk to about it. You know what I'm saying? So I was in crisis. And I was going to give up my apartment. I was just going to let myself get an eviction put on my record because I was so despondent. I was so like, fuck it, fuck everything. I was just like, whatever, I'll lose the apartment and I'll just go back to West Memphis and I'll get pregnant and I'll just work at Burger King. Because I was like the people in my town who stayed behind to live there and have children and, you know, just work. They seemed like they was doing good. It seemed easy. I felt like they had it easy. So I was like, I'll just do that. But that was just me in crisis mode. I was fucked up. Okay. No offense. Like that's what a lot of people were doing. I was like, this seems easy. So anyway, and then boom. Then my mama started getting on my nerves. And I was like, you know what? No, I love my apartment. I love being on my own. I like my space. I don't want to give that up. That was just me deep in my emotions trying to make decisions. I mean, in human design, real quick, I'm emotional authority. When you have emotional authority, you cannot make decisions when you're on the emotional wave. You have to wait until your feelings have mellowed out, until they're neutral, not wavy, right? So anyway, once I eventually became neutral after a couple of weeks, after everything that happened, I was like, okay, now I have clarity. That's when you get clarity, when you have emotional authority, when you're neutral. I was like, okay, now I have clarity. Now, keep in mind, I didn't know about design back then. I'm just telling you in retrospect. So now I have clarity. And then I'm like, okay, I don't want to lose my apartment. I don't want to get an eviction notice. But how am I going to get money? I need money. I need to be able to pay my rent. But I know I don't want to apply for anything. I know I don't want to try to find another job because I had already had trouble finding a job earlier that year when I first got the apartment. You know what I'm saying? I was working at Texas Roadhouse. I quit that after a couple of weeks because it just became way too frustrating. And little did I know that when you're a generator, when something becomes too frustrating, you are supposed to leave it. I didn't know that, but that's what I did because, you know, crisis. That was frustrating. There was this other job. I almost became one of those people who sell, I think like TV plans, like in Walmart, like they'll be near their TVs and they'll sell like an AT&T plan or something. I was going to do that. But then the more I learned about how to do it, it just seemed even more frustrating. So anyway, so this is what happened. So when you're a generator, right? When you're a generator, you're not supposed to initiate, right? You're not supposed to operate out of response. You have to initiate only after having something to respond to. You have to be prompted by something that already exists, something in your outside environment, right? So Now keep in mind, I'm unaware of design and I was in crisis. And when you're in crisis, that's when you start operating like your most authentic self, which is what human design is, which is what it shows, your most authentic self, right? Right. So I knew I didn't want to go on Indeed and look for a job. So I just didn't. Y'all, I didn't know what I was going to do. Hold up. K414444 says, what if those prompts never come? And that's what I'm finna get into. Ooh, excuse me. Yes, it can apply to love life. Okay, that's what I'm finna get into. This is the trap. The trap that a generator can fall into is thinking that nothing will come. Is thinking that the prompt won't come. When you try to initiate without having something to respond to, when you try to go against your body and do something that you know makes you feel tired, makes you feel drained, or does not make you excited, either you will put yourself in a position where the prompt actually can't come, or if it does come, you won't recognize it because you're operating, you're on the energy, you're not on the proper energy lane. You know how you're driving and you got to be in the right lane to make your exit? You won't be able to make the right exit on your energetic drive because you're in the other lane doing shit you're not supposed to do. If I had been trying to apply on Indeed, I would have missed the prompt that I'm about to tell y'all because I would have been focused on this initiation that I had already started, right? Or the prompt may have never came because I might not have done what I'm about to tell you that I did, right? So here's what happened. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent. So I just chilled. If worse come to worse, I was just going to call a family member and be like, look, I need some help. I was in a bad situation with a nigga and I need some help. If worse came to worse, that's what I was going to do. But in the meantime, I was just moving along as if I had all the time in the world. And I learned, and this is something I learned recently from this one account. Check out this one account. Check out her account. I just put it in the comments. She has 2 videos on her website. I think it's $50 for both, or they might be $50 a piece. I don't know, but it's worth the money. Her videos on her generator response and the sacral masterclass. Sacral has to do with generator. I know some of y'all don't know, but you'll know eventually. Buy those videos. They're actually worth it. But anyway, it was in those videos that I learned, and I learned that recently. I'm getting back to the story in a minute. I learned that recently that generators are supposed to operate as if we have all the time in the world, because we do. But how? Why? And why is that the case for generators? Because as a generator, we don't know when the next response is coming. We can't force it to come. So in the meantime, we've got all the time in the world. And when we act like that, when we operate like that, it actually makes things speed up. It actually makes things come faster. Why? Because then when the prompt does come, we can see it clearly and respond immediately. You see what I'm saying? Yes, manifestors are the initiators. Manifestors can just initiate all day, according to strategy and authority. But anyway, so going back to the story, I'm not initiating shit. I don't even realize that I'm waiting on something to respond to. I'm just chilling. So this was during a time, now let's get back into it. Okay, this was during a time before I even knew what the fuck Astro Twitter was. I didn't even know what the fuck that was. I was just a little bitch from Memphis tweeting astrology to my Memphis followers who didn't even know what the fuck I was talking about, and they didn't give a fuck. But I was just tweeting astrology because I liked it and I liked talking about it. Don't even play with me. I was doing this shit before I even knew who the fuck all these other people was. You know what I'm saying? Please. But anyway, so I'm just tweeting astrology, right? And then one day, Oh, at the time, I was very much obsessed with pregnancy because I thought I was pregnant at the time. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, I was obsessed with pregnancy and I was obsessed with astrology. And so I did a lot of research on pregnancy astrology, right? And so I made a thread about pregnancy astrology. I just put my heart into that thread because I was so excited. Remember, it's a generator's excitement that pulls things to us. I was so fucking excited about that knowledge. My two obsessions at the time, I had them together. I was making a thread, and the thread was so fucking good. I know y'all know the pregnancy thread. It's a little outdated with some of the information, but at the time, I was very, very excited, right? Boom. This one account, her name was Happy Capricorn. She had 50,000 followers, which at the time was a lot. That was like a fucking lot at the time. If you got 50K now, it's not the same. It's not like it used to be. She retweeted the entire thread, every tweet, and she was blown away. She was like, oh my God, what is this? Who are you? Where did you come from? I want to learn. And I gained 4,000 followers that day. And up until recently, I hadn't had a dry day on Twitter since. You feel me? So then, boom. People was asking for readings. They wanted to know about themselves. They wanted to know other things. And I had all this knowledge because I had been studying astrology way before this happened. And let me tell y'all too, real quick. Did you know eclipse cycles last in 6-month periods? It takes 6 months for an eclipse cycle to go around, right? So this was in June, late June, early July. Exactly 6 months before this, during a Leo eclipse in my 10th house, which is career, I had a friend and he was an Aquarius. You know, Aquarius can see the future. They can have insight into the future. I had an Aquarius friend. I was just telling him about astrology. I was just telling him. I wasn't giving him a reading. I was just telling him how cool it was, how much I loved it, blah, blah, blah. And he was an older nigga too, because this was one of my college friends. That nigga had to be like 32. I was like 20. I wasn't even old enough to drink yet. I was literally like 20. And he was like, you need to do this for a living. And I was like, what? Because see, I didn't really have a concept of what an astrologer was quite yet, because I had just done so much studying. It didn't occur to me that people, were making full livings off this. I was like, what? I was like, no, it's just my hobby. It's my hobby, but I don't, what? I was like, what are you talking about? Like what? And then that's when I remembered what he said, when he said I need to do it for a living. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's right. And so what I was responding to was the feedback that I had gotten on my astrology thread. This happened about 3 weeks after this happened about maybe a week to 2 weeks after I decided that I didn't want to lose my apartment, that I didn't want to get the eviction notice, that I needed a way to make money in a way that was going to make me happy, that I could really use my energy and really use my knowledge, because I knew a lot of things about a lot of different shit, right? And somebody said earlier, the K1444 person was like, what if the prompt doesn't come? It does come. The trap is thinking that it won't. The trap is trying to initiate and you'll miss it. Remember the driving example? Or who drives like this? What the fuck? Remember the driving example? I was in the right lane to make the right exit, and I didn't know it. And then it was after that I said, okay, I'll in response to this feedback on this thread, I'll start doing readings. It made me excited, the thought of doing readings and doing astrology for other people for real. Because up until this point, I had only ever got to talk about it with friends. And before my thread blew up, people on Twitter didn't really talk about it with me like that. So now I had tons of people who wanted to talk about astrology with me. This was amazing. And like I said, I wasn't even 21 at the time yet. So I was like, I was so excited. Yeah, somebody said this live is my prompt. It definitely can be, because it did not come from your head. If this live is prompting you and exciting you, generators, to initiate, okay, connection cut out. You can, because it did not come from your head. But anyway, So then the first day I gave readings, my rent was $600, right? And I needed gas money and I needed to buy groceries. My rent was $600. The first day I ever gave readings, guess how much I made? Somebody guess. Somebody said 1,000. No, not 6K. No, not 3K. I didn't see no bands until several months after that. Like, I didn't see no bands until 2019, which I'll also tell the story about that. But anyway, nah, I made like, yeah, about 800. It was about 800 in a day. That was the first day I did readings. And I'm a generator, right? Generators have endless energy for the things they love. And I loved astrology. So I had endless energy to do readings all day, back to back to back to back. Next thing I know, I'm sitting at my mom's kitchen table with $800 in my account. I could pay my rent, drive back home with gas, and have money for food. Just like that. And it was with something I loved. Whenever you read human design stuff, you'll see them talk about how generators are supposed to do work that they love. And work doesn't necessarily mean something you make money from. It can be volunteer shit. It can be whatever. But for me, it was this. I was doing work that I loved. I had amazing time doing it. I was good at it. And I could pay my rent. It was perfect. And those were all the things I was waiting on and didn't even fully realize I was waiting on in the meantime. And so you guys see, I was in crisis, operating in design, being my most authentic self, and I didn't even know it. I responded to something. I'm a responder. My authentic self is naturally a responder. And that's what I did without realizing it. I waited for something to come up. I did something exciting. I put my all into what was exciting for me. That's what a generator is supposed to do. That's our authentic self, is putting our all into what's exciting. My dad, and in the months following, I was able to pay my rent consistently. I don't know if anybody remembers, I would do $10 readings, and I would only do them like once a month. Because I was enjoying the freedom that I had from not having to go to work. And so once a month, I would be like, okay, I'm about to open readings. And I would run up a bag off $10 readings. People used to be like, or people on Twitter were like, Jade's capitalist. She only wants money. I can't believe she makes this much, because I'm good at what I do and I deserve it. And I didn't get this far from a few viral tweets. I didn't get this far from viral shit. I got this far from my excitement, from my love and passion and joy from astrology. So anyway, once a month, I would just run up a bag. I would just do $10 readings all day and make I would stop when I got to like 800, 900 and just pay my rent. And I would chill the rest of the month. Cause generator, we're supposed to do what our body wants. My body didn't have the energy to do readings every day and make thousands. I wasn't ready to make thousands of dollars yet. My body wasn't ready. My body was content and satisfied making enough to pay rent and chilling. I was chilling. I binged watched Inuyasha, watched movies. I would binge watch tarot videos. I would chill. Good time. But anyway, so my point is, learning your human design, learning your most authentic self, that's the magnet. It's authenticity that attracts. And human design is something that can help you do it for yourself, to know where you can operate most authentically. And see, it's not like human design. Like human design, it will help you operate in the most authentic way. It's not making choices for you or making decisions for you, but it's showing you how you can stay in the correct energetic lane so that you can operate from the most authentic place possible, right? You want to be able to operate from the most authentic place possible, right? You guys, I've had plenty of people offer me thousands of dollars for a reading. I haven't done readings in 3 years, almost 4. And people be like, so I've had people say, like, I will literally give you any price. I mean it, name it. 10K, 50K retainers, all types of shit. But those things didn't excite me. My body wasn't excited. That's not my most, I'm being authentic to myself, knowing that that doesn't excite me. And I'm going to wait for something that does excite me eventually to prompt me to do readings again or to do a 10K reading or whatever the fuck. You see what I'm saying? And remember how I said for generator, it's all about satisfaction. You get to decide what's going to make you satisfied. You get to choose what's going to satisfy you, right? As a generator, when you're a generator. This is for generators. The more a generator puts all their energy into their excitement, the more they get the things that make them satisfied. I've always been a person who was only going to be satisfied if I had the money to buy what I wanted, when I wanted, if I had the freedom to do work as I pleased, if I had nice things, blah, 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 if I had the ability to help my family. And because I was putting all my energy into my excitement, right? And I was only responding to that which made me excited. And I didn't even realize it at the time. I was only responding to that which made me excited, to the things my body was saying yes to. It put me on the path to satisfaction, which is where I am now. So when all that Twitter drama happened, like 2 months ago, now a generator can lose excitement. Shit can happen and we can lose our excitement. And as soon as that drama like hit the fan and all these people were believing rumors and lies about me with no proof, people who I've helped, you know, I respond to their comments and their DMs, and I give my time and my energy to help so many people. And then as soon as so many people like that were believing that bullshit, that killed my excitement for Twitter. That killed all the joy and excitement I had for tweeting out helpful information and helping the masses. It was done. And now, of course, at this point, I know about human design. And I know to go with that feeling. I know what this means. I know how to recognize the feeling of excitement and the lack thereof. And immediately I was like, it's done. It's done. And I was open to what came next. Do you know, if I would have kept trying to tweet, if I would have kept trying to bring followers back or bring patrons back, that would have made me frustrated because my excitement wasn't there. But if I would have tried to, oh no, I need the money back, or I need this back, I need my reputation back. If I would have tried to push for that, that would have did nothing but made me frustrated, and nothing would have worked out, because nothing works out for generator through frustration. You see what I'm saying? So I listened to my body, right? And so now there's so much I can get into with generator. Real quick, generators go through plateaus. A generator will go up, 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 and then will stagnate, right? That's a generator plateau. It's something we will always go through. When a generator is going through a plateau, it's because we're gaining momentum for the next climb, like a staircase. You know how the staircase goes constantly up? When a generator plateaus, we're gaining momentum for the next big climb. Plateaus are good, right? Plateaus mean we need to be, plateaus it's a time for relaxation. It's a time for taking our foot off their necks for a second and getting it together. So that way, when it's time to respond to the next big thing, we're always responding. But when it's time to respond to the next big thing, we can go even higher. So that's why the generator plateau goes up, 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 stagnate, and then boom, you go even farther. So when it's time for me to respond to the next big thing, which I think will be my Etsy, I think it'll be the people I'm helping, because I told y'all I'm helping people with human design and astrology in their marketing, and the results are really good right now. And I think it'll also be being on retainer for high numbers. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be way more than anything that I lost, because I know design. I know the pattern. I know which phase of the pattern that I'm in. And so this is what I was talking about at the very beginning. I don't have to worry. I can be sad. I can be upset, which I was. And I still am. But I'm not frustrated. I'm still aware of the pattern, and I know where I am. And you can be the same. Start learning human design. Start getting into it. I will be putting out Etsy audios. I'm still waiting on something to prompt me. I'm just being direct with y'all. I'm still waiting on something to really prompt me, because the Etsy has been created, but I'm operating out of response. So I'm waiting. Remember, generators, the trap is feeling like nothing will come. All we have to do is wait. I'm just waiting on something to prompt me and make me go, you know what? I'm putting this on Etsy. I'm ready. I'm ready to let everybody know. I'm just waiting on that. In the meantime, I'm just waiting. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about human design, marketing, astrology, all those things combined on my Etsy, among other things. My Etsy, I want to put out content. These are things that I've created. I want to create content that's going to help people in their day-to-day life. Something that you can listen to, whether it's an audio or a PDF that I do, and you can put it into your life immediately. You can get some results immediately. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm going to do. You feel me? And then with Patreon, I've lost so many patrons. It hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings so much. But I don't want that money back from those people, or that interaction back from the people who left. Anybody who believed bullshit about me before I even had a chance to speak, listening to shit without proof, no receipts. I don't want your money. I don't want your time, your energy. Don't even look at me. Don't come over here. Because the next rise in my staircase, it's going to come from people way better than anything that I lost. People who think like I do, people who look at facts and receipts, people who want to learn, people who are here for knowledge and not drama. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. You know, I don't really have any expectations necessarily. Like my only expectations is that I keep growing in my knowledge, and I keep operating using the knowledge that I've gained. That's my expectation for myself. Everything else, I'm not going to have any expectations. I'm not going to have any expectations about, how many followers I'll gain or how much money I'll make or anything like that. I'm doing this shit because I like it, because I love it. I love astrology. I love human design. I love marketing. I went to college for it, even though I didn't finish. I love helping people. I'm doing all of this because I love it. Everything else is just a bonus because I love it. When you're a generator and you're doing what you love, everything else is just a bonus because you love it. All right, let me show y'all these books and get up off here. Now, like I said, for those of you that missed it, when you're researching anything, make sure you look at every resource. I look at every website that interests me. I look at every book that interests me. I look at real world experiences. I look at Reddit. I look at videos. Don't think you're going to learn everything you need to know just from these two books or just from one website. Okay. This is the first one. Go ahead and get you a screenshot. Yes, Dallas said, when generators have no expectations, it always turns out better than expected. Somebody said, will I update Patreon? Oh, yeah, I meant to say that. Yes, I'll still be on Patreon. I want to start, another thing I want to start doing is not like similar to a podcast. I kind of don't want to call it a podcast, but whatever. I do like the way I'm talking to y'all now on live. I really enjoy talking into my microphone. And I just want to start talking about it, talking about my experiences like I am now. And then I'll just put it on Patreon, because you see how when I just start talking, there's so much knowledge to be gained just from me being in conversation like I am now. So that's what I want to do. And you know what? It would probably be easier. This is what I'm talking about with generator response. It would probably be better if I go on live and then I have my microphone, so that way I have something to respond to as I speak into the mic, right? And if I do that, that makes whatever I say, whenever I post it, even more magnetic, even more. even more magnetic and attractive, because I'll be operating out of response, because that's my authentic self. You see what I'm saying? Everything needs to be response. Every little thing for generator. As much as you can muster, you know? Oh my gosh, Cheryl, where have you been? You missed it. My bitch Cheryl. Cheryl, where you been? Cheryl, you know you should have been here. All right. I'll holler at you guys later. Hope you got all the knowledge you needed. I have given you keys. I've dropped so many gems. You need to listen to them. You need to use them. You know what? Let me scratch that. Don't do as I say. Do as you see me do. I told you the things that I've done. I try to role model, right? Sometimes I'm trying to role model for you the things you need to know, the things you need to do to get where you want to be, because that's how I got here. See me as the role model. That's how I got here, right? Motherfuckers didn't want to listen though. Motherfuckers didn't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not going to delete it. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening.